dispatching campers of all varieties. However, even he laments the ones that got away. These characters tangled with the beast of Crystal Lake and lived to tell the tale. Jason famously wasn't introduced to the series until the second entry. In that film, he nabs his first victim by dispatching the sole survivor of his mother's rampage. He then proceeds to cut his way through the current residents of the abandoned summer camp. After his spree, the only survivors are Ginny, Paul, and Ted. Ginny defeats Jason with some child psychology, and is last seen being carted away on a stretcher. Paul's fate is more ambiguous, but we never see him die. Of course, Ted is the smartest character in the entire series for choosing to just stay at the bar. Part 3 gives Jason the iconic mask, and he's already doing much better on his KDA average. The end of the film leaves Chris Higgins the sole survivor, after she puts an axe into Jason's head, giving his mask the iconic notch that will remain throughout the series. Part 4 was the promised final chapter, and that turned out to be a lie. After Jason cuts his way through a house of horny teens, including a young Crispin Glover, he squares off against the Jarvis family. He's defeated by young Tommy Jarvis and his sister Trish. Tommy continued to face off with Jason, however, but the 5th film was an imposter, so we won't count Roy. The 6th film does see Tommy accidentally resurrecting a now zombified Jason. Thanks to a metal rod and some convenient lightning, Jason returns to Crystal Lake and begins his rampage once again. In the end, Tommy and the sheriff's daughter Megan managed to trap Jason at the bottom of Crystal Lake. He didn't stay there long, however, and thanks to a teenage psychic, he ramps up his body count once more. Part 7 has the hulking ghoul squaring off against Tina. She uses her powers and Ghost Dad to trap Jason yet again, and she even gets to keep her love interest in Nick Rogers. For the 8th entry, Jason took Manhattan. Eventually. First, though, he dispatched an entire boatload of teens on a school trip. He shares some kind of unexplained psychic bond with lead Renee, and she uses it to save both herself and friend Sean. Part 9 had Jason entering the 90s with a brand new distributor and new line. In the series' wildest take yet on the killer, Jason was revealed to be some kind of demon capable of possessing others. In the end, he is sent to hell by Steve Freeman, leaving himself, Jessica, and baby Stephanie alive. Creighton Duke is questionable. Jason was launched into space for the 10th entry, because what else are you going to do at this point? He faces off against a spaceship full of Marines and teens, and in the end is defeated by half the cast of Gene Roddenberry's Andromeda. Rowan, Peyton, and robot KM-14 live to tell the tale. The long-awaited Freddy vs. Jason finally hit screens, and the matchup came with a fresh body count. This time, the sole survivors are Laurie and Will, who managed to outlast both of horror's biggest icons. Finally, there is the reboot, which is technically a different Jason. Still, he lives up to the name with a few great slasher victims. Clay and Whitney end up as the final pair, but a cliffhanger ending leaves their fates ambiguous.